Welcome to I'm Okay Being a Karen. My name is Sterling, and here we talk about daily life, real situations, and the exact moments that test my patience. So grab your coffee and join the conversation. Welcome back to I'm Okay Being a Karen, the podcast where I say what a lot of people are already thinking. If you are joining me on another Wednesday, thanks for spending part of your week with me. And if you are new here, new episodes drop every Wednesday. So let's talk about this week's episode. You are not the speed police. So what in the world has happened to the way people drive? See, I live in one of the largest metro areas in the country. And if you've ever driven here, you already know what I'm talking about. Our traffic is consistently ranked among the worst. It feels like everyone is in an Olympic event to get one car length ahead. People are weaving through traffic, cutting people off, or following so close they can practically read the sticker on your license plate. They're flying down the interstate doing 20 miles an hour over the speed limit as if somehow that's going to magically erase traffic. But here's the funny part. I've been traveling a lot lately, and mostly outside of my hometown. And I've discovered something that irritates me just as much. The exact opposite sometimes happens. See, the people who camp out in the far left lane, the ones, you know who they are, they're doing the speed limit, or sometimes under it, while a line of 20 cars stacks up behind them. Meanwhile, every few miles there's a sign that says, "Slow traffic, keep right." And apparently some people read that sign and think, well, I'm not slower than me. Now what the heck are we doing here? The left lane was never designed to be a sightseeing lane. It was designed to be a passing lane. If you're actively passing another vehicle, great, stay there. But once you've passed them, move back over to the right. That's literally how traffic is designed to flow. Instead, we get rolling roadblocks. That one person decides they're driving fast enough for everyone else, and suddenly the interstate becomes one giant traffic jam. Now, before you come after me, no, I'm not saying everyone should drive 90 miles an hour. I'm saying the flow of traffic works best when people use lanes the way they were intended. In fact, in many states, including where I live, driving continuously in the left lane without passing is actually against the law. Yet, I honestly can't remember the last time I saw anyone pulled over for it. Instead, the people who want to pass start weaving between lanes, passing on the right, darting in and out of traffic, and now you've created an even more dangerous situation. All because one person decided they own that left lane. But this got me thinking about something bigger. When was the last time any of us actually looked up the traffic laws? Now be serious. Be honest. Have you ever sat down and said, you know what? I think I'll spend Saturday morning seeing if my state legislature updated the rules of the road. Well, neither have I. And that's exactly how I ended up getting a ticket last year. The first ticket I'd had in over 20 years. Now, before anybody says, well, you broke the law, maybe I did, but hear me out. I was taught to drive a certain way. When you're waiting to make a left turn at an intersection, you pull forward into the intersection while waiting for a gap in traffic. And if traffic never clears before the light turns yellow, or even red, you finish your turn so you can clear the intersection. This isn't something I made up. That's exactly how I was taught. And apparently, where I was driving, that wasn't acceptable. The officer wrote me a ticket for failure to obey a traffic control device. I politely explained why I had done what I did. I wasn't arguing. I wasn't trying to get out of a ticket. I was simply explaining that I'd been taught differently. Then came the comment from him that completely changed my opinion of the interaction. He looked at me and said, I should be grateful he wasn't writing me another ticket for running a red light. Really? That's the direction we're going? Well, let me be clear. There are plenty of outstanding police officers. I've met many of them and have several in my family. Most of them use common sense. Most know the difference between someone intentionally driving recklessly and someone making an honest mistake. This just wasn't one of those officers. He was absolutely one that give officers a bad name. And what bothered me wasn't even the ticket. It was his complete lack of discretion. He could have looked at my driving record and seen I hadn't had a ticket in decades. He could have recognized that I wasn't trying to beat the light with a police cruiser sitting directly behind me. Now, who knowingly breaks the law with a cop watching? Instead, I got a citation. Then I discovered something that shocked me even more. I had 90 days to complete a defensive driving course. And if I didn't, I could lose my license permanently. Well, that got my attention. And fortunately, I completed the class and everything worked out. But it left me wondering, how many other laws have changed since I got my driver's license? Because let's face it, most of us learned to drive as teenagers. Some of us 30 or 40 years ago. And traffic patterns have changed, cars have changed, roads have changed, the laws have changed. But somehow we're expected to magically know all of it. So what's the answer? Am I supposed to research traffic laws every January like I'm filing taxes? Should I study every state's driver's manual before taking a road trip? Well, that seems a little unrealistic to me. But at the same time, ignorance of the law isn't a defense. So somewhere in the middle there has to be a better solution. Maybe states should do a better job notifying licensed drivers when major traffic laws change. Or maybe insurance companies could include annual updates. Or maybe renewing your driver's license should include a 5-minute refresher on important changes. I don't know the answer, but clearly the current system isn't working. Because every day we see people who don't know, who don't care how traffic is supposed to work. Some drive way too aggressively, and others drive like they're completely unaware there are 50 cars behind them. And somehow all of us end up frustrated. So here's my challenge this week. If you're in the left lane and you're not actively passing someone, move over to the right. If you're weaving through traffic because you're in a hurry, ask yourself, is arriving 30 seconds sooner worth causing a crash? And maybe, just maybe, we should all spend a few minutes every now and again seeing whether the rules have changed since we were 16 years old. Because apparently they have. And trust me, learning about them online is a whole lot cheaper than learning about them from the guy with the flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. Now, I will be back next Wednesday with another episode of I'm Okay Being a Karen, where we'll chat about another everyday situation that has people asking, am I the only one who notices this? Remember, having standards doesn't make you a Karen. Expecting basic decency isn't asking too much. If you've ever walked away from a situation thinking, am I the problem or are people just getting worse? Then you're in the right place. Be sure to follow this podcast, leave a rating, drop a comment, and share it with someone who will appreciate a little common sense. And if you've got a story that brought out your inner Karen, send it to me at the email address in the notes. Your story might become a future episode. My name is Sterling, and I will see you next time on I'm Okay Being a Karen.